And welcome to another episode of IAFM podcast.
This is Paola. Welcome, everyone. We're here with two incredible women, Dana Buckmir and Annie Bao.
We're going to talk about a super awesome book that Dana wrote and Annie illustrated called The Luckiest of Them All.
Dana is a wonderful writer. You might also know her as Dana-licious Reviews. She's a wonderful foodie around Fairfield County. So if you don't follow her, please follow her there as well. What I love about Dana is everything she does is with honesty, with intention, and her writing certainly reflects that. And The Luckiest of Them All is just the latest of, her projects. And I love it because Lucky is actually her dog, who she lost recently. And this book really helps our children and even us kind of work through our losses and how to process our feelings.
Would you call it a journey, like a journey through grief? Is that a fair way to say it?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's a love story for anyone who's ever bonded with a pet. Yeah. Even though it's about a dog, it could be about any pet that you've ever had. I think it's a love story for that, and I think that it's really important for us to talk about these feelings because even for children, losing a pet is probably the first experience they have with death in their lives.
Totally.
That's true.
But even as adults, I think a lot of the times we don't really talk about that. A lot of people say that it's just a dog, but we don't recognize the bond that we have so often.
People say it's just a dog. It makes it's not just a dog. I mean, we lost. So for us, I wish this existed in 2018. We had our Fia, which we adopted, and they told us when we adopted her, they told us that she was like 6.5 years old. We had her for 2 years, right? Around 2 years.
2.5.
And suddenly one day, like Paul and I were working from home, and she just went south, like just kind of collapsed. It was weird, and so I called the vet, and he was like, "You need to take her." And in a very long story short, we brought her in, and he was like, "She's in full, she's shut down." Like, unfortunately, my recommendation is that you should put her down. We were not remotely prepared. We thought it was a vet visit. Anyway. But the reason why I'm kind of confident about this is that our daughter was very young, so she wouldn't have been able to kind of understand what was happening. But our son at the time, I think, was in, I'm trying to think, like second grade. And we didn't have, the luckiest of them all. We kind of had to figure out, all right, well, how are we going to get our 7-year-old to kind of process what just happened? And the only thing that we did, that we searched on the internet, was don't do it at home. Do it somewhere that's kind of impartial so that they don't associate home with the loss of their animal. And we just brought them to the beach and kind of had a conversation.
It's a beautiful place for it.
It is. I think, for us, the ocean is peace anyway. We always have to live near the ocean.
Lucky loved the beach.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, we always celebrated his birthday, which is October 2nd, on the
Okay.
beach. And we gather all his 4-legged and 2-legged friends together to celebrate. And so this year, because he's not with us, we're going to have a memorial on the 2nd.
I love that.
He celebrates that.
So, I guess, let's start with kind of how you all came together and how the book came to pass, especially recently that Lucky just passed away.
Yeah. So Annie and I had a kind of serendipitous meeting. I started training at Elite Combatives, Krav Maga, right after I got out of the abusive relationship and wrote the book Everything Will Be Okay.
Yep.
And the owner, Juan, is very supportive, and he allowed me to have my books there at the studio to sell. Started training there, and I had my books, and she was my partner. And we hit it off, we were training together, and then she was like, "Oh, you're an author?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's my book." And so Annie got it on audio, and she listened to it in one night. And she was like, "Oh, I really love it," and we kind of connected on that level. And then I learned that she was an artist too, and she's a painter. Very, very talented. So after Lucky passed January 1st, and I went away just to kind of recharge. I went to South Florida for a couple days.
Sure.
It was the first trip I had where he wasn't with me. So I did a lot of reflecting, and I was alone, and so I've always used writing as therapy. So while I was in the hotel room, I wrote The Luckiest of Them All.
Did you find like I'm going to sit down and I'm writing a book about this, or was it just kind of like writing down your feelings and writing down like what you were, your memories with him, and then you're like, wait a second, this is all making sense.
I wanted something to honor his memory because he was so special, but I didn't necessarily intend to set out to write the book.
Yeah.
But just that night, everything flowed, and then I just wrote it down, and I was like, oh wow, I just wrote a book.
Yeah.
You know? But I've never written a children's book. My genre is memoir, so I needed a partner. So I went to class, and I got back, and I was like, Amy, you know, would you be interested in being on board with this project? And she said it would be her honor, and we just partnered. And I had told her after we finished the book, I was like, I don't think I could do this with anybody else but you.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, you know when you find your person.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, both like work alone usually.
Right.
And then I don't know, I just jumped into it because I felt so comfortable with her.
Yeah.
Like, I still remember when I realized that I liked her in class. Like, we were doing the warm-up where we were trying to like tap each other. And then she was kicking really high. And I was like, why are you kicking really high? And then she said, oh yeah, I used to be around pets. And I was like, whoa, how cool is that? Cool. And then she's like, yeah, I'm kidding.
And that's her problem with me. She's like, I can never tell when you're joking. It's kind of like Daria. You remember Daria?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I kind of think I'm like a Daria. But Annie is like, I mean, we matched because she's like obviously good health, human sunshine.
Yes.
She's always upbeat, always in a good mood, like just very high energy, but also very talented, ambitious, passionate, committed. Like, I was like, we need to get this done by September 1st, because September 1st was important to me because September it's 9 months since he died, and I wanted to pick a meaningful date and say that we could create something beautiful at that time.
Yes.
Because it's like our baby that we want to share.
Yes.
But also September 14th is Pet Remembrance Day.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I wanted to have it available for people, you know, to purchase and read on that day. But Annie like stuck to a schedule, and it's hard for her. She has 2 young kids.
That's hard with 2 kids.
Thank you for saying that.
Especially that young, because I mean they need you.
Yeah, and they really need her. Yeah.
Obviously, this is not your first time. You've been really an incredible artist.
Thank you.
So tell me a little bit about your journey as an artist. Have you ever illustrated a book before? Have you?
Oh,
What is
my
it like?
first? It was amazing. Like I don't know, I just jumped into it right away. I thought it was such a good idea, and then all of a sudden, like I'm an oil painter on oil canvas, and I thought that what a unique opportunity to sort of bring that to books. Most books are illustrated digitally, and I wanted to. Okay, maybe this could be like a new genre.
Yeah, I loved it, and I loved watching. And it was really cool. She recorded some of her, you know what I mean, like the process, going from an empty blank canvas to slowly building these characters.
Oh, so awesome.
It's amazing.
So-
It's so awesome to see her process. And I just wanted to do
Something with these.
Oh, even better. She brought the originals. Even better. I love it. How cute is this? Oh my gosh, this is adorable.
I love this one. This is when after Lucky passes, and Lucky's dog sitter, she brought over this frame, and it's like, you were my favorite hello and my hardest goodbye. And then you put the collar in there, and you bring that to the memorial. And I love that. And I love how she had that. And then one of the ways that I say that I get through my grief is by the dogs that are in my life that knew Lucky. So it's like a part of them is carried on with my relationship with them. So they're all kind of paying homage and honoring him.
Yeah.
Which I think is really beautiful.
They're actually his friends. Like he sent me a bunch of pictures and.
Because Dana, I don't know if we mentioned this before, Dana helps take care of dogs, loves dogs. So clearly she has a lot of doggy friends that knew Lucky.
And I wouldn't have been able to have this business if it wasn't for Lucky. He was always so accommodating and welcoming of all dogs in the house, in the bed. He was really great for that kind of business. And he accumulated a lot of friends along the way. Oh my.
How did Lucky come into your life?
I always wanted a dog, and I was never able to have one. And I wanted one of those Paris Hilton pocketbook dogs. So I went online and I said I wanted a teacup Yorkie. And it was, I didn't know any better, so I didn't know to go to a rescue. I just typed in teacup Yorkie and it came up. And this guy came in the middle of the night in the winter with Lucky and his brother. And Lucky's brother was like sleepy and sluggish and didn't have much of anything going on. But Lucky was like very animated and energetic and full of personality, so I was like, I picked that one. Yeah. Turned out that he wasn't a teacup. A teacup only gets to like 4 pounds. I think he was like 14 pounds.
Even the smallest person.
Yeah, but I was happy with the way that his size. Teacups are so fragile, and Lucky was like adventurous and tough. And, I wouldn't have it any other way.
Of course.
What I like about Annie and I's partnership is that we have a lot of synergy. Like there's really no conflict with things. It's like when I'm thinking of an idea, she's thinking of it too. She's like, oh my god, I'm thinking that too.
Kind of creepy.
I gave her the writing. And then she was kind of asking me, what do I want? But I had faith in her that she could come up with the perfect illustration for that picture. But a lot of the times when we did share, we were on the same page.
That's awesome.
Which is, I feel like, very unusual. Yeah.
It's literally serendipitous.
Yeah.
Your friendship is serendipitous.
It's really weird, like how comfortable and insane we are.
Was this your first time painting animals?
No, I did a lot of commissions of dogs. Actually, one of my first ones was a big dog who passed away Yeah. And then actually I lost a cat 2 weeks before my son was born. And when I first started my sketches, I was bawling. And my husband was like, what's wrong? Because like some of these, when you look at some of these like memes and stuff of like your pets with like angel wings and they're like, you did the best that you could, or like, I was so happy, you gave me the happiest, like, it's like, I was just like,
Yeah.
Of course.
oh my god.
Because they are their family.
Our dogs are incredibly our Vespa, she just turned 17 in August. And we're, mentally preparing myself to be inevitable. Grateful to God that she has lasted that long for us.
It's hard because while they're alive, I informed this with Lucky too, that you start grieving the loss before it even happens.
Yes.
And then you have to check yourself and be like, I just want to appreciate the time that I had.
And live in the moment.
Yeah.
She'll be like working in bed and I'll be holding Vespa just bawling. And she's like, what on earth is going on? And I'm like,
It's so true.
and it's like, and Vespa and I work together. Like this Pala works in advertising, so she just works all the time. So we're together all the time. So I'm like dreading it as much as anyone, I guess, would dread it.
They don't live long enough.
They don't.
And it's unconditional love. Like, I think about all different stages of my life, and Lucky is with me through
Yeah.
so many.
Yeah.
15 years is a long time to have this partner.
It's a very, very long time. I was thinking about that the other day. Like, Vespa's 17 years old, and we got her when she was adopted her when she was 5 months old. We were very fortunate. A friend of ours worked at a rescue, and we lived in a condo. Perfect dog for you. Perfect for a condo. She literally experienced happiness, grief, arguments, like whatever, everything that you've ever experienced in life. She's ultimately been a part of since we've been married, and a long time. 15 years is a very long time. That's your partner in crime. Did you go page by page and kind of say, all right, this is going to be the first page and this is the illustration, and once you guys kind of perfected that, you moved on to the next page, or how did that?
Well, I get on as a full spectrum.
Yeah. Right.
I had never written a children's book, so I had to do a lot of research on the format and the process of it. So what we acquired with our research was that the standard number of pages that a children's book has, and then components of it, and then I had all the text written. So we just kind of tried to place it in the way that the story flowed. And then Annie created everything on canvas, and then they were basically sort of like storyboards
Yeah.
to lay out the story from beginning to end.
Wow. when I was working on the illustration, she basically, like, that was already a final draft. So when I was reading through it, I could kind of see what I was going to do.
Would you say both of your, because obviously writing versus illustrating something is, they're two different processes, but they're both in a creative space. Like, did you guys have similar approaches towards it, or?
I think so. What I liked about Annie's approach is that, like, for example, one of the adventures, Lucky always flew with me on the airplane. And when I wrote that, I didn't think that she was going to paint like what she did, but she put like an imaginative spin, like a fantasy element on everything. So instead of like a traditional airplane, like that's me, and then Lucky is in the back. And,
I love that.
And so she did that, like even at the end with the jet ski. I thought it was really cool how she put that spin on it, like this is heaven.
Sure.
And in heaven, he's just, you know, on a jet ski, going around, enjoying it. Yeah.
I don't know if it's putting on the spot or even possible. Is there a particular part of the book that's your favorite? Maybe you want to read a little bit of it?
Sure. You want me to read the whole thing?
Oh, I can do whatever you want.
What I love about this illustration is that Annie makes me look like a Disney princess. And the way that he looks at me, he's just so sweet.
Isn't that like, I love how, like, it's so interesting to me about dogs, right? Like, the way that they look at you, it's something sort of their love. And it's like, with Guster, he smiles. It's like really weird. Like, it's incredible how humans and dogs have this connection.
Like everything.
Because you are, right? For them, you're like, you know,
I think we should read it because it's not going to take that long. Is that okay?
Let's go for it.
I have to practice too for when we go to the children's for the school.
okay.
When I read it in my head, I hear Dana's voice.
Yeah,
I love it.
she's great at it.
Really,
All
really
right.
question before we start this.
Sure.
I need to know this. Another book, the audio, did you read it?
I did.
So you have that voice.
She does
Definitely.
have that voice. She's really good
I love
at
it.
it.
That's so cool.
I think that's also too why we connected.
Yeah,
Maybe so much that you felt like you knew me because basically I just bared my soul for the.
Yes, of course.
So once you bare your soul, it's like people feel like they know you even before they know you.
Especially in the
It's
world of
easier to
like
have
social
that
media too, where we like see each other and we interact online all the time. So we know what kind of everyone's doing, and then you meet up in real life, and you're like.
and like you remember after we went for coffee after class offline, and we were just like telling you all these like really personal struggles and things that I went there, and I was like, I don't know what's coming out of my mouth. Damn, what is happening?
And I was like, I get that a lot because I feel like when you share so much with people, in turn, people feel comfortable sharing with you because you're not going to judge them.
Yeah, oh my god, and you're a very genuine soul.
Yeah.
You convey that when I met you at least.
Yeah.
She's got the mannerism of a therapist.
That'll be my next career.
But this scene is very satisfying.
Okay.
Let's go.
There you go.
Okay, the luckiest of them all. Your brother was sleepy, sluggish, and shy, while your energy showed a fire brewing inside. A blizzard could not stop destiny. You were fated to be the best of me. Yorkie pups born to the world brand new. Out of the two, I had to pick you. You lay on my chest, listening to my heart, and I knew at that moment we'd never be apart. With your presence, I would no longer be alone. From now on, within you, I would find my home. What would I call you? Gabe, Finn, or Doug? There were so many options that I could think of. It was fun for a while playing the game. Then it came to me, Lucky, the perfect name. You were spunky and brave. You were one of a kind. Each day I was thankful that you were mine. You made so many friends, four-legged and two. Everyone you met fell in love with you. You were curious and bold the more that you grew. A tiny, tough body, there was no fear in you. The dog park, the beach, plane rides we'd explore. And as your proud mom, I snapped photos galore. Through life, you became my fierce protector for the mailman, a squirrel, or some phantom specter. Those times I was sad, you'd sit by my side, my silent companion, my guard, and my guide.
Where's that crying?
I know. I'm bawling at it.
As a pup, you were naughty, eating furniture in a shoe. It took me a while to train those bad habits out of you. Once I was distracted, you got out the front door, not knowing where you were going. You just wanted to explore. 8 hours later, you were brought safely back home, upset I had lost you. You just wanted to roam. After that, I never let you out of my sight. From sunrise to sunset, daytime or night. You rode from Connecticut to Florida on my lap, staying up the whole trip, too excited to nap. If I dared to pack for a solo trip to rest, you'd sit on the luggage and softly protest. Well, this is a great one with the family. My family still talks about this story. I gasped when you caught the family bird in your teeth, till Mango was safely away from your reach. You gave up the poor thing, less a few feathers, though it was some time before our next get-together. Beach trips where you dug holes in the sand, 2 paws at one time to make up for no hands. You were fearless of water, big dogs, cars, and carts. The only thing you feared was us being apart. You made guests at our wedding smile with glee. Such a handsome old fella. How cute can he be? All dressed up in a tuxedo with a small black bow tie. Our special ring bearer, our sweet little guy.
I remember those pictures.
I do.
So a very distinguished gentleman. You got sick and were sad, so under the weather, Mama wrapped you all up in your bright winter sweater. Your old age and your illness made you feel frail. Nothing could put the wag back in your tail. Now's the hard part. You were only 10 pounds, but such a strong force. Your loyalty to me made you struggle to stay the course. I knew in my heart I had to make a choice. In this most difficult time, I had to be your voice. You let me know that it was time to go. I made the hard decision to end your pain, even though it meant never seeing you again. There is a time for all things under the sun to lay down their head and no longer run. I knew if I loved you, I must let you go. But while my head said, it's time, my heart said, don't go. The empty dog bowl, the lonely dog bed, the leash that's unused, and the ache in my head. I miss you so much that I just couldn't see how'd I ever get past you leaving me. I cried thousands of tears that could fill up an ocean, but it never could match your endless devotion.
I'm done. You're really.
Hold on, it gets better.
I know. Oh my God, no, there's so many.
We're experiencing all of life's emotions in one
That
book.
has all the feels. I didn't know what I would do. We couldn't be through. I had created a life of just me and you. Your absence from my life just tore me apart. When you left, you took with you a piece of my heart. The overwhelming support began to pour in. It proved without a doubt all the hearts you did win. I waited for you to give me a sign, to let me know wherever you were, you'd be fine. I went to the beach, the first time since you passed, to reflect on your absence and make peace at last. At the edge of the waves, a butterfly floated by. You reminded me that love can never really die. Even though your body was no longer here, you were with me in spirit, and that fact was clear. You were in the trees and the trails you would walk, my constant companion, even though you couldn't tell. Here in the sand at the beach and the crash of the waves, where you ran fearlessly through and were ferociously brave. You know? It's beautiful. You're in plane rides so far up in the air, but as long as you were with me, you didn't care. You're in the bells you would ring when you wanted to go out, or to eat, or to ring for attention, because you couldn't shout. You're in car rides strapped safely in your booster seat, while you stared out the window so you didn't miss a beat. Your Sundays so cozy all cuddled in bed, a yawn with no teeth, my sleepy heart. You're in the eyes of every dog you ever knew, pure, loving, kind friends with souls that were true. Wherever you are, at the Rainbow Bridge or in the sky, I want you to know that I loved you more than life, my handsome little guy. One lucky dog, you were stubborn and kind. I am forever grateful that you have been mine. You had a long life, I can surely recall, but because of your love, I was the luckiest of them all.
Beautiful.
You got you.
I mean, there were like so many times when, like throughout this, like working on this book, that me and my husband, you just showed up.
God, it's like you.
I'd like hug our dog and be like, please don't get sick. Please,
It brings up all the feelings. It's so real.
like I cried about my cat for like 2 years after just like the thought of her leaving. I literally at the vet where she had to go down, I literally was holding her saying, please don't go. Like I actually remember that. So every time I get to that page, like it just brings me back. Yeah. And then like you think about why it takes you so much, like the relationships that you have with your pet, with an animal. I mean, even if it's an animal that, you know, wasn't even like that had like accompanied you through all these different stages of life. This is a relationship where like this little thing loves you unconditionally, has never done you harm, has never said a mean thing to you, has always been there for you. Like how many relationships can you say?
It's the purest form of love.
Yeah.
There's no other.
We don't deserve them. We always say that. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like, how do we deserve these beautiful creatures?
And we are, we
Without judgment.
cohabitat with them in such a way, like Vala brought that up, it's like such a weird thing. It's just like someone at some point was like, well, they were wolves, but now we're just going to invite them to our home.
Now they're going to sleep in your bed.
And they're going to sleep with them. And
Sounds right.
I do think they judge us, though.
Judge us.
But they don't tell us.
They don't judge us.
No, it is. It's the purest thing of love. And I don't know. So what's our consensus? Do dogs go to heaven? Of course. Right?
Oh, please.
I don't
They
care what
ride
one
Jesse.
priest
There's
say.
no time limit. They don't have to pay. There's there's like castles that they can roam around. Initially, like we wanted to just do a castle, and then I was like, but then with all the dogs that went to heaven, they're not all gonna fit. So, like, I was doing this, so I did that big spread page, and I was like, there has to be castles everywhere, and they can like visit, and they can just live in. They're sort of like dwarves, you know.
Yeah.
Like they can make different friends, and there's gonna be like waterfalls and trees and all
I mean,
these
even
things.
when Pia died, I just imagined her running to my mom's lap and just like sitting on her lap. Like that's all I could muster up in my brain. And to your point, like I still agree, Pia needs to be
You never
I don't think you do. Like grief is just a constant experience that you learn to live with. I
Right.
guess, right?
So I have always used writing as a therapeutic outlet to kind of process a negative situation and put a positive spin on it.
Sure.
I did that with my 2 memoirs, and so I knew that I wanted to do something with Lucky to process that grief. And Annie always says, what do you give someone other than a hug when their pet passes? And we feel like the luckiest of them all is something to help people navigate that journey through grief.
Yes.
It's a very clearly an incredible book. You just heard it. It's a special collaboration.
That's my first time reading it out loud.
Well, you did a fantastic job.
And you know what? When we were doing research on the books that are out there was like nothing.
That's true.
Not for kids. It was like nonfiction, like how to get over a pet.
I remember, it's so funny that just popped in my head, and I think I've mentioned this to you before. When I was little, I don't remember my mom reading me many books, but there was one book she would read me where there was a blind dog, and his seeing dog friend would like walk him around everywhere, and all I remember is my mom bawling every time she would read this book to me. I don't know why that just popped in my head, but isn't that interesting? Like,
I mean, it's like when you're a parent and you read what's that book with like, I love you forever.
I love you forever.
I feel
Oh,
like
forget it.
that's the kind of thing that just kind of stirs up in you. It's like you start pausing and start relating these characters to like your babies, right? And it becomes very real, and all of a sudden it's like, and I think it's so good. And like even that emotional. It's just, I think it's so good to have something that helps you tap into what you are feeling and release it. You know what I mean?
I think so often, yes, 100%. I was just going to say that seeing you cry is not necessarily a sad thing. It's like a cleansing, and it's part of the human experience to have all these feelings. And so often we're taught to like numb them or, repress them and not express them. And, some people are like, oh, isn't the chocolate kind of sad? Oh, I'm kind of in my feelings. Well, you should be in your feelings. Like, that's the point. So, yeah, like seeing you cry made me feel like, oh, I connected to you. Like we're touching people in a way.
But you know what? I think that's the biggest misconception. Is like if someone dies, you have to like the only way that you're mourning is by crying and showing emotion. But I feel that also like with death, you have two options, right? You can either, to your point, make it a positive thing, or as best you can make it a positive thing, or you could let us eat you alive. And the reason why I bring that up is I had a friend of mine from high school whose mom died. And when I was going through my mother dying and going through that process, and, I don't think we're friends on Facebook, even though I'm very open on Facebook.
I love that. I love his
I
post.
say what I have to say.
And I love it. I'm 100% supportive of that. So I look forward to your post. So like, yeah, it's great that you're open, you're honest, you're authentic, and I mean that's why like Facebook people say things like fake love, because people are the opposite of what you are. So when I see that, it's like a breath of fresh air for me.
But I say what I think. So, when he reached out to me privately, he was like, "Whatever you do, don't allow this death to consume you, because it did for me." And to be honest with you, my mom died. I didn't process it for years probably after, because it was such an intense situation that it was traumatic. Yeah, and recommend therapy to everybody. But through therapy, I was able to kind of like recognize things. But the reason why I kind of tie it into our thoughts is like when my mom died, obviously I cried and I mourned and I experienced a lot of those feelings. But when he had died, I was inconsolable. I couldn't. I mean, both died. Literally, I remember we were at Ash Creek Animal Hospital, and it happened when we left, and we were just like, what do we do now?
Showed up for
Without her. And we just called. We sat in the car, and I think I pulled over on Fairfield Avenue, and we just called. I mean, we still do. Every now and then, like, we experience these emotions with her because we'll come up with pictures, and they come up in Amazon photos and things like that. But I guess my point is like, you have the opportunity to be like, that soul is no longer with us, or you could recognize and celebrate those moments that we've had with our animals and be like, wow, how lucky am I that I got to experience, in your case with Lucky, like, we went to Florida, we went on all these adventures, and I got to do it with you. I think this is a great way to take grief and turn it into something really, really positive. Right?
Yeah, I was thinking like you can get somebody a card, so if they you're saying all the things that you went through, and you're giving them not just advice, but like hope.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like when we share so much, which I try to do with my writing, I just bare my soul, express myself in a way that allows people to do the same. So even though this is about Lucky's life, it could be about Pia and other dogs, where we have that bond of having that shared love that we experience.
I think that's one of the biggest things with doing something like this. You don't feel alone, and you're anytime you go to it's a beautiful thing to approach it as a celebration of life.
Right.
Selfishly, as humans, we mourn, right? Because we've lost something that can no longer. And it's a scary thought, because it's just so important to celebrate life, because that's what it's really, really all about. Like I always say, like when I die, I want no one more than just throw a party, and everyone should just like laugh at all the dumb shit that I did throughout my life.
We'll find each other again. I think that's also the message that we will find each other again. We've never fully lost each other.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I believe that the soul manifests into different forms. So maybe Lucky isn't lucky, but maybe Lucky is other things.
Yeah.
Nature and other
You
dogs.
mentioned like the butterfly. Like my sister has a tattoo of a butterfly on her shoulder, but like I forget why. But my mom, like anytime we see a butterfly, it reminds us of my
Right.
mother. And it happened like when we bought our house. Our friend slash realtor, Lillian Daly, like texted me. She's like, "You're not gonna believe this. Like I just stopped by the house before you guys even get here. And there was a butterfly just hovering all around this place. You know."
But it's a comforting feeling to believe that there's something after this that we're connected to still.
No judgment on my end, but I can't understand how people wouldn't want that. You know?
Because it gives you like a feeling of peace. You know, to navigate through such a dark time. And so going through that experience has allowed me to help others go through that experience where they have to make that hard decision for the end of life. You know, I've gone through two since Lucky passed. Two clients of mine that I work very closely with, they needed to make that decision, and they asked me to come and evaluate the situation and give my recommendation. It's heavy, but I feel like I feel honored that they would entrust me, you know, just to share their feelings and to trust me with something that was so valuable. And one thing that I always say to people going through this is that most of the time the dog is holding on for you. You know, and you need to let go. Like that's the best gift that you can give them. It was so hard for me to come to terms with that because I wanted to never have enough time. Like we're free for time. You know, I want another week. It's never going to be enough. I want a month. I want a year. So just to kind of go through that process and then get back to the memories and go, okay, now I'm going to focus on that and all the time that we did have with each other.
Totally, and that's the conversation we have about Vespa now. Are we being, and we're not, to be clear. She has a lot of life left in her. She does, she has a lot of smoke. But right now, like, she gets up like 3 or 4 times in the middle of the night and she does not want to have an accident. So like, we have to get up and bring her outside and like, it's frustrating.
You give her extra care.
But we also, at the end of the day, like, we wouldn't have it any other way. You know, I would not sleep until eternity if it meant that she would be with us forever. But that's obviously, and we'll know that point where it's going to go.
I asked the vet. My cat, like towards the end, her tumor had paralyzed like one side of her, and I was calling the vet like it was almost impossible getting food in her. She lost her sight, and then I was just like holding her 24/7, and then the vet was like, "We have to think for her."
Yeah, exactly. That's like what Chris said to us, and like the vet that Ash Creek, like we've known him for as long as we've had Vespa. So, you know, at that time with Pia, you know, he said like, obviously I do this a lot, and he was passionate about it. He's like, this is never easy for me. No matter how many times you think you can work through it and go through the processes, it's never easy. And here this man is sitting there, and this is his profession, and he's just bawling, literally like hugging us and bawling with us. I think some of the positives to pull out of that too is that compassion. You know, like people recognize that and they understand that they want to be there. And it's also a beautiful representation of the human spirit as well.
I should do a sequel like this. I feel like for adults, it starts a conversation right away. For kids, I feel like it's very healing because they can see, first of all, like a celebration of all he's done in his life, and then like they can literally imagine through the picture like where he is now. He's riding a jet ski. He's in this like rainbow land with all these like castles. And I think we should do a sequel of like the adventures of that like in heaven.
Oh, that would be so fun.
Oh, that was so good. And I was going to say, like, with all these things happening in the world, like, it's just sort of a conversation.
With
General, about what happens after, and you know, and the fear of us and all this stuff. And, oh, it's like a conversation.
Oh, and unexpected. Like,
You know, this is like the message that we're trying to explain to her. You know, like, we'll see the beginnings. And, you know, we're never always with you. We're always messages. So much. I love that idea of this, you know, to kind of like continue the conversation and bring calm and just a level of peace. That anything can stay okay. I love that idea. I love it. No pressure about it. No pressure. Just start writing this.
Then maybe he's like texting you on his dog phone. It's like, you know, and then he's like sending
Not
me a
well
card.
done.
Yeah, I mean, you never know. Like, this could be right next to the human heaven, and they could like hang out. You know,
All together now.
So this is our first interview with the book, so we're really happy that we could do it with
We
you guys.
They're so special.
We have an upcoming event. It's in Norwalk at Cole's Pizza in Norwalk on Wall Street, and on October 16th, we're having a happy hour collaboration where Andy and I and the Luckiest of Them All are partnering with Blanca, who's the owner. She is a teacher, and she also owns the restaurant, and she's very big in women supporting women. So I've worked with her before. She's amazing. So they're starting a new happy hour. And so there's going to be discounted drinks and light apps, light bites. But also, she worked with me to create a signature drink for Lucky, and it's called Life of the Party.
Oh, wow.
That's what Lucky was, Life of the Party.
So save that date.
Yeah, save the date. We love for people to come out and support her and talk about all their dogs.
Oh, I love that idea. Well, thank you so much. We feel so honored
guys.
that you helped us in your journey with this book and launch it out to the public. Where can they find the book?
Right now, it's available on Amazon in paperback form. It will be also available at different events that we're organizing in Fairfield County. But right now, if you want to get your copy, you can get it on Amazon.
And it will also be one of our books of the week with our newsletter.
I know you please have that feature on the newsletter.
You will. You'll get to see this. I'm going to link directly to it, you guys. This is amazing.
sorry,
No, I love it. I'm an emotional person. Well, thank you. Thank you, Dave and Annie. We're going to put all of your information in our posts, so please follow both of them. Two incredible women coming together to give us this beautiful, beautiful book. Or join your kids.
And we do want to end all of our podcasts with podcasts. Obviously, we already have a book recommendation, but we always like to just kind of go completely off topic and just say, like, what are some of the things that you both are into, like podcast-wise, or even book, or what, you know, anything
Like you do.
like you like to do, like outside of all of this. No pressure though whatsoever.
I really love the podcast in a Fairfield Minute.
It's always lots of fun and informative. I'll tell you where to find it. I love it. No, honestly, thank you both.
So very, very much.
Thank you. We had a blast. And thank you to Ryberg. This is where we are right now today. Just hanging out at the coolest spot in town.
Ryberg in Fairfield.
On
Wonder
Elm
what you post road. Oh, actually, just
This but we're right next to the community theater. Can't miss it. Beautiful spot to hang out with your family, with your friends.
huge shout out to Frank for allowing us to do this.
Yes, thank you for. We love it. All right.
Peace out, everybody.
Peace out, everybody.